Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Seth for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. Hey, what's good, everybody? This is your boy Casey for L King Seth for Life Wrestling Takes, here to give you my honest take about last night's Backlash. Did not do it live because it was just so much going on, and I didn't want to come on extremely late and be yawning and all that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to come on here and give you my honest take about the show. Overall, I thought Backlash was a huge success. But the only reason why I won't be going extremely high is because of match placement. Certain things that took place on this show, I thought, were great. I thought the atmosphere, Puerto Rico, they deserve a WrestleMania. That crowd was hype. They was extremely hype. They was hype for majority of the show. And when we talk about match placement, that's when I'm going to talk about why certain things that shouldn't have been, should have been where they should have been. And that's on that's on Vince McMahon. So let's break down this show. We kicked the show off with the Raw Women's Champion taking on Bianca. The Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, taking on Io Sky. Now, when Bianca first came out, the fans seemed to be behind her, right? But then when Io came out, they got behind Io like it was nothing. So during this matchup, now I said, when those two looked at each other while they cut that promo while we was in Chicago, I said, look, those two looked at each other as if they knew we finna slap. Ladies and gentlemen, Bianca and Io Sky put on one of the greatest women matches. Listen, WWE been putting on some solid women matches as of late. I got to give them props. Even though the division has been trash, it has been boring as heck. The matches wise have been great. And Bianca and Io Sky, they know each other so well. And they went out there and they killed it. Now, I didn't know that Bianca was going for the record, trying to be the first woman to have the longest reigning for any title or any championship. Ladies and gentlemen, can I keep it 100% with y'all? The only reason they're doing this is because they're trying to quote unquote appease their black fan base. I'm telling you right now, there's been too much white supremacy, racism that's been coming out about the E as of late. And the only reason why they've been doing this is they've been trying to quote unquote appease the black audience. Meanwhile, the rest of the fan base is getting mad. The rest of the fan base have already turned on Bianca. I've seen so many people just hating on this woman, just hating. And we know exactly why. And the fans in Puerto Rico just straight dog the mess out of Bianca. They turn Bianca as if she's the next version of Fruity Pebbles. And that ain't it. Bianca is not the next version of Fruity Pebbles. Unfortunately, she's being booked like that. She is not Fruity Pebbles. Do not put her in that same sentence, because that's exactly what Cats is doing. Cats are starting to turn her into Fruity Pebbles because they want her to lose, but she's not losing. Ladies and gentlemen, look no further than the fools that's booking the division. Now here, this is the second time, if it was me, because of how hot the crowd was, I would not mind if Io Sky went over. And as things were going well, Io actually had the upper advantage. She was doing work. She was working on Bianca's arm. She weakened her arm, so her arm, that was the weakness. That was the story throughout the whole match. And Bianca was trying to do a bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, that woman, listen, she lives up to the name, the strongest. She truly is the strongest. So, as they're going, here come Dakota Kai and here come Bayley. And Bianca looked at them and said, no, look, if Io gonna win this, she needs to win this fair and square. Y'all two need to get the heck up out of here. So, these two call themselves trying to get involved. And Io Sky, I'm telling you, she had this match won. The crowd was so behind Io Sky, it didn't make no sense. But I told you exactly why. See, let me tell you something. Out there, let me tell you something. When it comes to some of the Hispanic folk, especially because when it comes to that colorism stuff, cats may be darker than me, yet hate black folk. That sounds completely stupid, but that's just how it is. Racism, white supremacy has brainwashed cats like that where when they see darkness, they automatically hate. It's like, that's why a lot of them be trying to bleach themselves. They try to bleach. It's sad. It's very sad, man. But they wanted Io to win, right? So what happened was Dakota Kai and Bayley were basically quote unquote trying to distract the ref, and Bayley was holding down on Bianca's ponytail. Well, my ref seen it. The ref was looking right at them. And Io Sky, I'm telling you, Io Sky was going to win this match. She had it in the bag. Listen, fans, do not boo Bianca. It was not Bianca's fault why she retained. She retained because Bayley and Dakota Kai cost Io Sky. They were quote unquote trying to help her, but in actuality, they end up screwing her over. So if I'm Io Sky, I'm done with damaged goods. I need to get the heck out. I can talk to them on SmackDown and be like, listen, I was the doggone. I had Bianca beat. I had Bianca beat. But you two goofies came out there and messed up everything. So, like I said, people want to be mad. Like I said, Bianca just hit 400 days or something like that. Great. See, let me tell you something. It's funny as heck how, like I said, when they actually have a prominent black women's champion right now. However, it's based on the booking. It's the booking itself. Like I said, don't blame Bianca. People, oh, she's boring and all this stuff. Look no further than the freaking booking. I told you. I say it all the time. They have a hard time trying to book our wrestlers. Yes, we can hold on to championships. We can have a long reign. But it's called, how do you make that reign not feel stale? They don't know what they're doing. They absolutely don't. All they care about is, oh, look, somebody black with a champion. Let's push them. Let's push the agenda. Let's keep pushing it because we have absolutely no idea what we're doing. And it's an agenda. That's all it is. But kudos to Bianca, Io, they did their thing. I thought this was a great opener. They tore the house down. Next, we get Seth Rollins versus Omos. Now, half the people in the IWC, let's just call it for what it is, 75% of the IWC can't stand Omos. Omos ain't the best wrestler, but as of late, Omos has actually been impressing me as of late. And watching this matchup, I knew neither one of these cats could lose. Because you want to present Omos as the next big thing. You want to present him as the next big giant. Don't you think he should start getting reasonable wins? But Seth Rollins and Omos went out here. Seth came out, crowd singing the song, going nuts. And Omos, he had enough. He kicked that fool down and the two of them started going. And man, I'm telling you right now, I think Seth Rollins gave Omos one of his best matches yet today. This was a fantastic match. I wanted Omos to win. That's how good Seth Rollins is. I wanted Omos to beat Seth Rollins. I wanted him to win. It took 4 curve stomps, if I'm not mistaken, to take Omos out, to take the mighty Nigerian giant out. Seth wins, and we move on. So then we get to the triple threat. Now, at first, I kind of had some interest in it, but because then when Bronson Reed got drafted to Raw and Austin Theory and Bobby got drafted to SmackDown, that gave away because I was thinking this is Bronson Reed's title to win, because obviously him and Bobby Lashley beefing. So how would they have basically had Bronson Reed become the new U.S. champion by pinning Bobby Lashley? No, that's not the case. What this was basically was a showing for Bronson Reed, and I thought Bronson Reed did his thing. Bobby gonna do what he needs to do. Austin Theory, listen, man, no disrespect to the Austin Theory heads out there, but I'm not really on the man's bandwagon yet. He has potential, but I'm just not there yet. I'm not. And what took place was Bobby pretty much speared Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory basically threw him out the ring, and then he did the 8-town down. No, he just pinned him. He just pinned Bronson Reed to retain the championship. So Austin Theory really ain't do nothing. It was Bobby and Bronson Reed basically doing all the, because at first Austin Theory and Bronson Reed were acting like heels. They were the two heels in the match. Bobby Lashley was the face. So what do you think they did? They beat the brakes off of Bobby Lashley. But then Bronson Reed said, "All right, we took out Bobby Lashley. Now let me turn my attention back to you." And that's when he started beating the brakes off of Austin Theory. But then, like I said, make a long story short, Bobby Lashley ended up spearing Bronson Reed, and then Austin Theory just threw Bobby Lashley out the ring, and Austin Theory just pinned Bronson Reed to retain his championship. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this matchup, Michael Cole brought up a huge, basically let you know what's next on the line, what's next on the agenda for Roman Reigns. Bobby Lashley said the reason why he was drafted to SmackDown was only one reason: Roman Reigns. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the bloodline storyline is crickling, the friction of the bloodline, because when I get there, I'm going to get there. The next matchup for Roman Reigns going in the Night of Champions looks to be Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. Hey, get the match out the way. Let's do it. Roman's going to retain. You know Bobby not winning. Hey, it is what it is on that. Then we get to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, which is Rhea and Zelina Vega. Rhea comes out there. Crowd is, neutral for her. Obviously, you know why, because she the heel. And then Zelina come out there, she rocking her Puerto Rican flag and all that stuff, and she got the pop, and they said that she was doing this for her fallen father and all this crap. I said, man, I hate it. I knew she wasn't winning, but the fact that they had the name drop her dad and all that, I was like, man, that's, And so she broke down in the ring, and fans were cheering, and they were chanting in their language and all this stuff, and this is a solid matchup. It was okay. I think both of these matches, I think these was kind of like the cool down matches of the show. But all this was just Zelina just get an opportunity to wrestle in front of her home crowd. You knew Rhea Ripley was winning. This is exactly what happened. Rhea retains the championship, and we move on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you heard Michael Cole constantly say that throughout the whole night that Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar and Bad Bunny and Damien Priest were the doggone co-main events. Yet they basically had two other matches after Bad Bunny. I'm like, I asked myself, why are we having a street fight this early? If it's the co-main event, don't you think the Bloodline matchup should have went first? Match placement, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the major reasons why pay-per-views don't get past the 9 or don't get past the 10. Match placement matters. This street fight, ladies and gentlemen, Bad Bunny, first Damien Priest came out. Once he came out there, crowd booed the mess out of him, right? Came out there. Then Bad Bunny came out to one of his songs, I think it's called Champo Bion or something. I might be pronouncing it. I'm way off. He came out to that, and ladies and gentlemen, that crowd went berserk. They knew word for word. I'm talking about Bad Bunny is so freaking over, it don't even make sense. This boy is so over. I'm like, man, the pop, I mean, I mean, listen, when the E decided to bring this young man in, listen, this is huge. This is huge for the WWE. Y'all know how much I get on WWE's case for be doing retarded stuff. This wasn't stupid. For bringing Bad Bunny in, Bad Bunny is showcasing why he belongs in the E. Ladies and gentlemen, him and Damien Priest, boy. First of all, Bad Bunny came out there with a shopper car. Looked like he just got through from shopping at ECW.com with trash cans, candlesticks, trash can lids, stop signs, steel chairs. He just got through from shopping at ECW.com, which is basically shopping underneath the ring because that's where all the stuff was at. So they get into the ring. These two started beating the snot. I mean, just tearing each other apart. Just beating just all over the place, tearing each other up, going over there, running through tables, whacking cats with Damien Priest had enough of that doggone candlestick, got the candlestick out that man's hand and broke it. He just had enough. So they was outside the ring. Damien Priest called himself trying to kick that Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny dunked out the way and he kicked the doggone steel pole, which is connected to where the turnbuckles was. Well, you know that he basically quote-unquote injured himself, right? So as he got back into the ring, you know, Bad Bunny was trying to do some stuff to him. Then that's when Judgment Day came out there. That's when Finn Balor came out there and Dominique, they came out there. So now it's a 3-on-1 assault. That's what it turned into. Then after that, that's when Ray and the LWO came out. But then as things were going on, out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I love it when we don't know who's backstage or who's coming. This is what killed wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. What killed wrestling is the dirt sheets. The internet and the dirt sheets is what destroyed wrestling. Because the cats be always talking about who pulling up. This is when they're going to be here. I don't need to know. Don't tell me nothing. I don't need to know somebody is showing up. I don't need to know squat. Man, Carlito popped out of nowhere. When that man's music hit, that whole arena went crazy. It was good to see my man. Very good to see him. I said Carlito still looked the same. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. I said, man, this is great. It was huge. I was like, and I didn't know nothing about it. I said, that's what makes wrestling great. When you don't know a certain fool is coming back and they pull up, that's what makes wrestling great. These circus clowns with these dirt sheets, I'm talking about every single one of them. If I name them, you know who I'm talking about. I don't care about none of them. Listen, I thank God for those cats because they do keep us up to date on if somebody is, if their salary is coming up or if they gonna be good. They let us. I'm cool with that, and they let us know about the ratings and all that. But outside of that, I don't need to know if a certain wrestler is pulling up or somebody got. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know this. I don't need to know who's going over it. Ladies and gentlemen, I just seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Could you imagine if I would have known the script before watching the movie? I would have actually had no enjoyment watching the movie. Personally, I thought Volume 3 was the best one out of all three of them. I didn't know nothing about the script. I don't even read the comic books. I just went in here and said, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to see this movie. And I walked away. I thought it was a fantastic movie. Ladies and gentlemen, when we don't know who's pulling up, that's what makes wrestling outstanding. Carlito coming out the woodwork, that was great. So then, after that, they showed him earlier. I wasn't familiar with this cat because he was in the Attitude Era during the beginning. For some reason, I don't remember. Savio Vega, I'm not familiar with the cat. He came out there and they basically ran off Judgment Day. And so after that, Bad Bunny got the win on Damien Priest. Damien Priest and Bad Bunny gave us the freaking match of the night. I was going to go with Bianca and Io Sky for match of the night, but Bad Bunny and Damien Priest destroyed the show. They did their thing. And I said, Triple H, Vince, how the heck didn't we go off with that? Why the heck did we not end with Bad Bunny beating the bricks off of Damien Priest in the main event? Why? Match placement matters, man. Match placement freaking matters. And that's an L on their part. Because these next two matches, ladies and gentlemen, I thought they were duds. I'm sorry. As much as I respect every cat up in this match, the second to last match. I really was just trying to see if Solo was going to turn on the Usos. And sure enough, during the matchup, it sure did look like that. Because Solo did get a hold of Jay, and he looked like he was finna thumb him, but then Jimmy had to get him to calm down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Riddle, he was in the match because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wasn't getting pinned. Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn lost to Solo, Jay, and Jimmy Uso in a 6-man tag team match, what I thought was a very mid 6-man tag team match. It's all it was. I was looking forward to the friction between the bloodline. So Solo Sikoa got the job done, and as of right now, Jimmy and Jay are the dead weight. So when Roman watches this match back, and he comes back, I believe he returns on Friday, this coming Friday. He's gonna look at the Usos and he's gonna understand. You understand why I have not been talking to you guys, right? Do you understand why I have not reached back to you all? Solo has been doing work. Y'all behinds have been looking like jokes. Y'all better be glad Solo was with you. Because if Solo wasn't with you, y'all would have lost the game. Like I said, I'm so over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with the tag team titles. Who told y'all that the tag team titles were just a compilation prize? Oh, and by the way, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, even though they got drafted to Raw, apparently they get to go on both shows. So they should have just kept them as undrafted, as free agents. That's what they should have kept them as. But no, they got drafted to Raw. So, but they end up on both shows. I'm like, and speaking of which, the World Heavyweight Championship title picture, apparently SmackDown cats are involved. So, like I said, man, it's all over the place. But like I said, the 6-man tag team match didn't do nothing for me. It didn't. All I was paying attention to was, is Solo gonna turn on his brothers? And it looked like he was fin to, but he didn't. He had Jay locked up. He had his big bro locked up like he was ready to thumb. Now I think Rikishi finna get involved. Rikishi finna mess around and get involved, ladies and gentlemen. I think he gonna get involved. Then we get to the main event, which shouldn't have been the main event. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. The best part of this was we legit got some blood. First of all, I wasn't expecting to see no blood. Brock Lesnar messed around and bladed himself. When really, if Cody was the one going over, Cody should have been the one bleeding. Doesn't he like to bleed, right? During the match, Cody did this goofy thing. Like, shout out to my man, Just Alex. Just Alex said it. Cody did that walk YIR where he was just walking, looking extremely goofy in there. I'm like, man. I can say the best part of this was the blade job by Brock, but Cody just rolled the man up. Nothing like Cody got beat down the whole match. Brock Lesnar was beating the brakes off him the whole match, and outside of him getting busted open. But Cody just rolled him up, and that was it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Backlash for you. I really don't have anything else to say. Like I say, match placement. If you put those two garbage matches after the SmackDown Women's Championship match, and then we closed the show with the street fight, heck, I could have possibly gave this pay-per-view a 9 out of 10. No, sir. This pay-per-view was a 8. A solid 8, which means they did a good job. I actually enjoyed watching the show, but those two final matches, I didn't give a rat's behind about. I did not give a rat's behind about. I only cared about was what type of friction the bloodline was going to have. And that was it. So, 8 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, hit the comment section up. Y'all tell me what y'all felt about the show. And I will be back next week. Hey, holla at your boy. Hit the comment section up. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.